July 7, 2025, a date like any other. But for the one who is awake, this day speaks. It speaks not through thunder, not through lightning, but through stillness. For those who are not paying attention, it will pass like every other day. But for the one who has even a little silence inside, this day becomes a mirror. The emergency is not out there, it never was. The true emergency is within. People are rushing, preparing, talking about what's coming. They chase headlines, they spread fear. They look to the sky for signs, but they forget the most dangerous storms are not found in the clouds. They are found inside your own mind. You'd think the world is chaotic. Look closely. Your thoughts are jumping. Your emotions are unstable. Your focus is weak. Your habits are lazy. That is the emergency. That is what July 7 is trying to show you. You see, the universe doesn't scream, it whispers. But most people are too loud inside to hear, and so it sends a stronger sign. July 7 is that sign, not a threat, not a punishment, but a reflection. If you are disturbed by what is happening outside, it's only because you are disconnected from what is inside. So you're not afraid of the world. You're afraid of facing yourself. You keep asking what's going to happen next. But the real question is, what's happening to you now? You are tired, distracted, reactive. You're repeating cycles that no longer serve you. You're pretending everything is fine while your inner structure is collapsing. That's the emergency. Not July 7, not the economy, not some storm. It's the absence of presence, the lack of awareness, the refusal to stop and face the mirror. So don't wait for the sky to fall to change your life. Don't wait for a crisis to wake up. If you only act when you're forced, you are already too late. The teachings are simple. The path is not hidden, but you must be willing to listen, not with your ears, but with your silence. The moment you sit still, the moment you look inward, July 7 becomes not a warning, but a turning point. Why July 7? Because you need something to focus on, a date, a symbol. But the truth is, every day is a message. Every moment is an invitation. July 7 is not about the external world ending. It's about your internal world beginning. You've had enough distractions. So you've had enough noise. Now is the time to return to the source. Your breath, your body, your discipline, your choices. You think you are preparing for what's coming, but what's coming has already arrived. It's here. In this moment, in your decision to rise or fall. You are not helpless. You are not lost, but you must take responsibility. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to push you through that door. You must walk, you must rise, you must prepare, not with fear, but with clarity. Do not be fooled by the noise outside. The real collapse is the collapse of awareness. The real fire is the fire of your scattered attention. And the only true emergency is the fact that you still think the danger is somewhere else. July 7 is your checkpoint, your opportunity to stop lying to yourself, to stop hiding behind excuses, to stop postponing your own transformation. This is not motivation. This is truth. You already know what you must do. Wake up early. Sit it in silence. Train your body. Focus your mind. Let go of comfort. Seek discipline. You've heard it all before. But July 7 is your final call to act on it, not later. Now, because after this day passes, nothing will change unless you do. You are not weak. You are not broken, but you are asleep. Wake up. July 7 is your alarm, not from the world, from your own soul. Listen to it, honor it, prepare not for destruction, but for elevation. Prepare not for collapse, but for clarity. You are not being warned. You are being reminded. The path has always been there. You just forgot to walk it. So stand up, breathe, look around, and then look within. That's where the real emergency lives. And that's where the real power begins. July 7 is not the end. It's the beginning. If you choose to see it, most people believe that preparation is about action. They think it means storing food, making backup plans, moving quickly, reacting fast. But the truth is real preparation starts long before movement. It starts in silence. It starts with awareness. If you are not aware, any action you take is blind. Any step you take is random. You are not preparing. you are panicking. That is why July 10th, 2025 matters. This day is not about fear. It is not about some external disaster. July 7 is a symbolic checkpoint. It is here to remind you, if you want to be ready for what comes next, you must stop moving blindly. You must pause. You must look within, because everything that happens to you will be filtered through your awareness. And if your awareness is broken, your life will be as well. People always ask, what should I do now? But this question already shows a lack of clarity. A better question is, what should I see now? Because until you see clearly, your doing will only create more confusion. You can build the biggest walls, but if your thoughts are weak, you'll still feel exposed. You can run to a new place, but if your emotions are unstable, you'll carry the same problems with you. That's why July 7 is so important. It asks you to look before you leap. You think there's no time? You are wrong. There's always time to become aware. 1 second of awareness can save you from 10 years of regret. One moment of clarity can stop a lifetime of mistakes. July 7 is your moment, but not everyone will notice. Most will scroll past it. They will look for signs in the sky while ignoring the chaos in their own mind. Don't be like them. Don't look outward, look inward. Awareness is not about thinking more. It is about thinking less, observing more, feeling what's real, watching your breath, listening to your body, noticing your reactions. Most people live like they are asleep with their eyes open. They go through their day reacting, reacting. But preparation means seeing before the reaction even begins. That is strength. That is true control. That is what this moment is offering. When you sit still, even for 5 minutes, you begin to see clearly. You notice how restless you are. You notice how quickly your thoughts shift. That's where the real work starts. Not in running from danger, but in watching your own inner fire. If your awareness is sharp, you don't fear the future. You prepare calmly, you move wisely, you act with purpose. July 7 is not telling you to do more, it's telling you to see more. The signs that you are unprepared are already here. You snap easily. You avoid silence. You can't focus for long. Your day starts with distraction and ends in fatigue. These are the warnings. These are the cracks. If you don't repair them now, nothing you build will last. This is not dramatic. This is reality. Self-awareness is the foundation. Without it, all your planning is noise. Many people are waiting for the perfect time, waiting for motivation. But waiting is just a delay tactic used by the unaware. July 7 does not care about your mood. It does not care about your excuses. It only asks one question: are you awake? If you are, then today is enough. If not, no amount of information, advice, or comfort will help you. Everything you need is already here. The breath in your body, the silence in your room, the power of your attention. But are you using it? Or are you wasting it on endless worry, endless scrolling, endless avoidance? That is why this message is called an emergency. Not because of the world, but because of your delay. Your delay in becoming conscious, in becoming real, in becoming strong from within. July 7 is your mirror. Look into it. Ask yourself, do I know myself? Can I sit in silence without fear? Do I respond with discipline or react with emotion? These are the questions that prepare you, not which headline to read, not which plan to follow. Awareness is your preparation. Awareness is your strength. Everything else is extra. So today, on July 7, pause. Don't rush. Don't act out of fear. Just sit, just breathe, just observe. And from that space, clarity will rise. And when clarity rises, wisdom follows. And when wisdom guides your actions, then you are prepared, not just for July 7, but for every day after. Do not chase the storm. Master the wind inside. The universe has already given you all the signs. You don't need another one. You need to wake up. And that awakening begins with awareness, not tomorrow, not when things get worse, but now. July moment, this breath, this is the start of your preparation. If you choose it, most people don't collapse all at once. They break down slowly, quietly, step by step. First, they skip one morning routine. Then They postpone one workout. They sleep a little longer. They scroll a little more. They ignore one small responsibility. And before they realize it, their discipline is gone. Their clarity is gone. Their center is gone. July 7 is not about a sudden disaster. It's about the invisible cracks that have already started forming in your life. The warning signs are already here. You wake up tired. You can't sit still. Your mind is cluttered. You feel anxious but don't know why. That is not bad luck. That is the result of weak habits. That is the signal. You're not falling apart because of the world. You're falling apart because your inner structure is no longer holding you up. And that structure is built from your daily discipline. People always think that change comes with big decisions. That is a mistake. The most powerful transformations begin in small daily choices. Wake up early, sit in silence, train your body, eat with intention, speak with honesty, honor your time. It sounds simple, but it is rare. Why? Because people chase motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Discipline is the only thing that lasts. This is why July 7 matters. It is not about fear, it is about awareness. The universe doesn't punish. It reflects. If you feel lost, if you feel heavy, if you feel confused, it's not because life is unfair. It's because you've stopped doing the simple things that keep your spirit strong. So this date is just a mirror. It shows you where you stand. It shows you how far you've drifted, and it gives you a chance to come back. Most people know what they need to do, but knowing is not the problem. Acting is. Following through, keeping your word. So returning to your values when it's hard. That's where people break, and that's where they must rebuild. You don't need a new plan. You need to return to the basic disciplines that you've been avoiding. You need to clean up the small areas of your life. That's how strength is restored. That's how clarity returns. July 7 is a checkpoint. Ask yourself, how clean is your space? How calm is your mind? How controlled is your speech? How strong is your body? These are not spiritual questions. These are questions of self-respect, because if you don't manage the small things, the big things will destroy you. If you don't train yourself in peace, you will fail in chaos. You say you want to grow, but growth is not an idea. It's a discipline. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the work when nobody is watching. It's saying no to comfort when your body begs for it. That is the real preparation. That is the real strength. And that is what July 7 is calling you back to. Some will hear this and feel uncomfortable. That's good. That discomfort is the signal that something inside you still wants to rise. You know you're not living at your highest level. You know you've been drifting. You know your habits have become weak. Let July 7 be the wake-up call. Not the end of something, but the beginning of your return back to strength, back to truth, back to order. You don't need to wait for a breakdown to rebuild. You can choose to rebuild now. You can choose to get serious. You can choose to remove distractions. You can choose to start small, but stay consistent, because that's the secret. Consistency builds identity, and identity creates transformation. It is not about being perfect. It's about not quitting. Stop looking for signs in the sky. Look at your calendar. Look at your morning routine. So look at how you spend your evenings. These are your signs. These are your reflections. And if they're out of alignment, don't panic. Just act. Shift your focus. Return to basics. Begin again. You are not powerless, but you must stop waiting for a better time. July 7 is the time. You are either becoming stronger or becoming softer. There is no neutral. Every small habit is shaping your future. Every small discipline is building your resilience or weakening it. The choice is always yours. And that's the truth people avoid. They want comfort and strength. They want ease and growth. But you cannot have both. Growth is not comfortable, and comfort never leads to growth. So choose, not tomorrow. Now, take July 7 as your mirror, not to scare you, but to remind you that you still have time. If you act not out of fear, but out of responsibility, not because you're broken, but because you know you're meant for more. You are not here to drift. You are not here to numb. You are here to grow, to refine, to sharpen. One day at a time, one discipline at a time. That is the path. That is the teaching. And that is what July 7 is all about. Most people think they are being tested by life. They believe that the universe is sending challenges, storms, and signs to see how strong they are. But this is a misunderstanding. The universe doesn't test you. Life doesn't target you. The only real test is how you respond to yourself, the way you react to your thoughts, the way you face your fears, the way you carry yourself when no one is watching. That is the test. And July 7, 2025 is simply a reflection of that. People are waiting for something big to happen. They expect a collapse, a shift, a storm. But what if the storm has already begun inside you? What if the test isn't coming from the sky, but from your own daily life? July 7 is not an external event. It's a mirror, a day that asks, how do you react when things feel uncertain? So, how do you carry yourself when routine breaks? How honest are you when it's just you and your thoughts? The truth is, you are being shown your own limitations, your own patterns, your own resistance. And that is the real gift. Because once you see it, you can grow from it, but only if you stop blaming the outside world. Only if you stop thinking the universe is punishing you. Life is not against you. Life is showing you exactly where you are not aligned. The question is, are you willing to see it? July 7 exists to pause you, to slow you down, not because danger is outside, but because disorder is inside. You keep asking, why is this happening? But the better question is, what is this showing me about myself? If you react with fear, that fear was already there. If you react with anger, that anger didn't just appear. These emotions live in you. The moment is only revealing them. Look closely. Every discomfort is a lesson. Every reaction is a teacher. If you feel attacked by the world, it means you are still giving your power away. If you feel offended, it means your ego is still running the show. July 7 is not the end. It's a wake-up call. It's a clear reminder. Your growth does not depend on what happens around you. It depends on how you deal with what's already within you. The strongest people are not those who have an easy life. They are the ones who stopped expecting ease. They are the ones who understood that the only real mastery is self-mastery. That means observing your triggers, noticing your weaknesses, facing your patterns without running, without blaming, without hiding. And that's the hardest part because looking in the mirror hurts. But that's where the work begins. July 7 is about that mirror. It's not a threat. It's not a prediction. It's a checkpoint, a moment to stop and ask, am I really growing? Or am I just pretending? Am I truly grounded? Or am I just avoiding? You don't need another external event to grow. You need to stop avoiding your own reflection. This moment, this day, it's asking you to be honest. If you're triggered, look at why. If you feel lost, ask what you've stopped practicing. If you feel angry, look at what you haven't healed. Every emotion points to a place inside you that needs attention. Not punishment, not guilt, just attention. Because whatever you're unwilling to face will keep controlling you. That's why this is not about fear. This is about responsibility. That's what July 7 is calling you into. Radical responsibility. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the result of your habits, your patterns, your choices, and all of those can change if you stop reacting and start reflecting. So when you change the way you look at your reactions, you start to take back your power. You start to see that the world is not testing you, it is helping you, not by making things easier, but by revealing what is weak in you. Not to punish, but to show you what to train, what to refine, what to let go of. July 7 is your reminder you don't need to wait for a better time. You don't need to wait for peace around you to find peace inside you. You can choose to be still even when things feel uncertain. You can choose to breathe even when your emotions are loud. You can choose to act from clarity, not from fear. This is what true growth looks like. Not perfection, not performance, just awareness, daily awareness, quiet discipline, honest reflection. That is the path. That is the work. And that is the invitation July 7 is giving you to stop blaming, to stop running, and to start seeing the test for what it really is: a mirror, not a punishment, a lesson, not a curse, a chance, not a threat. You are not here to react to life. You are here to master yourself. That mastery doesn't begin on the outside. It begins with how you choose to meet this moment, with how you choose to meet yourself. July 7 is not asking you to fear the future. It's asking you to finally face yourself fully, completely, without excuses, because that's where transformation begins. When things get loud, sit in silence. When everything feels urgent, slow down. This is what most people never understand. They think they must react quickly, move fast, do something, anything just to feel in control. But movement without awareness is not strength, it is chaos. Stillness with clarity, on the other hand, is true power. That is what July 10th, 2025 is reminding you of. In times of inner storm, stillness is the strategy. Look around you. Everyone is reacting emotionally, mentally, even physically. They hear something on the news and they panic. They see something online and they react, but what they never do is stop, pause, breathe, reflect, and that is why they suffer. Not because the world is falling apart, but because they never trained their minds to remain centered when things get heavy. The real storm is not outside, it is within you. The storm is the racing mind, the restless body, the constant search for something to distract, to numb, to avoid. But you cannot outrun yourself. No matter how far you run, your mind goes with you, your fears go with you, your patterns follow. That is why on July 7, you must stop chasing and start observing. Stillness is not about doing nothing. Stillness is choosing not to react. It is training yourself to sit with what is uncomfortable without needing to escape it. When your mind screams for a distraction and you remain in silence, that is power. When your emotions rise and you don't follow them blindly, that is control. When life challenges you and you face it calmly, that is mastery. People confuse stillness with weakness, but it is the strongest people who can remain calm in the middle of noise. Anyone can react. That takes no training, but to pause, to observe, to choose your next step with clarity, that requires discipline. And discipline begins with awareness. If you are never still, you are never aware. And if you are not aware, you are not prepared. July 7 is a reminder to return to stillness, because when the world gets louder, you must go deeper. You must quiet yourself to hear what matters. Most people will feel the pressure of this time. They will look outward asking, what should I do? But the answer is not in movement. The answer is in alignment. The answer is in presence. The greatest decisions are not made in panic. They are made in stillness. The most powerful actions are not rushed, they are deliberate. But to reach that level of clarity, you must train yourself. You must become familiar with sitting in silence, with being alone, with breathing through discomfort. That's where your strength is born. July 7 is not about emergency action. It's about emergency reflection. It is the universe pressing pause so you can see yourself clearly. But if you fill this moment with more noise, you miss the message, you miss the invitation. And once it passes, the opportunity is gone. Until the next time, until life forces you to stop again, only louder. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for the breakdown. Don't wait for the collapse. Learn to pause before things fall apart. Learn to sit in silence before life silences you. That is wisdom. That is preparation. That is real spiritual strength. Stillness is also where your healing begins. When you stop running, you start feeling. You begin to notice the pain you've buried, the patterns you've repeated, the thoughts you've ignored, and it's uncomfortable. But it is necessary because you cannot grow from what you refuse to face. Most people say they want clarity, but they avoid the one thing that brings it: stillness. They would rather stay busy than be honest. They would rather scroll than sit. But clarity doesn't come through more information. It comes from less noise, from listening to the quiet voice within, from hearing the truth that surfaces when you're finally still enough to feel it. July 7 is here to teach you that lesson, not through fear, but through awareness. You don't need to panic. You need to breathe. You don't need to react. You need to observe. You don't need more answers. You need to remove what is blocking your own inner wisdom. That's what stillness reveals. You are not weak. You are just distracted. You are not lost. You are just disconnected. And the way back to yourself is not through more movement. It's through less. It's through presence, through discipline, through silence. So take July 7 seriously, not because something bad will happen, but because something powerful already is happening inside you and you've been too loud to hear it. Now is your time to stop, to reset, to return to the ground beneath you, to reclaim the space within you. Sit down, breathe, feel the storm inside you, and let it pass without reacting to it. That is the practice. That is the lesson. That is the path forward. And that is the true shift happening on July 7, July 7, 2025. People say it feels like a warning, like something is coming, like time is running out. But the truth is, this is not a warning. This is a wake-up call. The message has already been delivered. The signs are already here. What you're feeling now isn't fear of the future. It's the deep inner knowing that you've been sleeping through your own life. That's what this moment is about. It's not the end. It's the beginning. If you choose to see it, you keep waiting for the right moment, waiting for motivation, waiting for something to force you to change. But July 7 is already that moment. It's the final reminder that nothing changes until you do. So you're not out of time because the world is ending. You're out of time because you've spent too long avoiding your own potential, too long running from your own responsibility, too long waiting for someone else to fix what only you can face. This is not about fear. It's about truth. The truth that your life will not improve until you face yourself honestly, until you stop pretending that you don't know what to do. You already know. The path is simple: discipline, focus, stillness, awareness. But knowing the path is not enough. You have to walk it, and you have to start now, because tomorrow is just a delay. And July 7 is a mirror showing you exactly where you stand. Many people will ignore this. They'll say it's just another day. But deep down, they'll feel it. That pull, that discomfort, that inner resistance. That's not the universe pressuring you. That's your own soul telling you the truth you've been avoiding, the truth that you were meant for more, that you've settled, that you've allowed distractions, laziness, and excuses to run your life. This is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters, about cutting through the noise and finally getting real with yourself. You've had enough time to drift. Now it's time to direct. You've had enough time to delay. Now it's time to decide. July 7 is not just a date. It's an invitation to wake up, to remember who you are, to remember what you were meant to build, not someday, now. And don't expect a wake-up call to feel comfortable. Growth never does. So it will challenge your habits. It will confront your weaknesses. It will force you to be honest about what you've been avoiding. But that's where transformation begins, in the discomfort, in the awareness, in the decision to change before you're forced to. Most people will wait until something breaks, until they lose something, until life knocks them down. Don't be like most people. Wake up before the collapse, train before the crisis, prepare before the storm. And not because something bad will happen, but because you are finally ready to stop living small, to stop shrinking into your fears, to stop numbing yourself with distractions. July 7 is not about fear of the world. It's about faith in your own potential. It's about rising from where you are and stepping into who you're meant to be, quietly, strongly, without needing approval, without needing to explain, just showing up, doing the work, building the habits every day, without skipping if you've been waiting for a sign. This is it. If you've been waiting for permission, you already have it. July 7 is not a threat, it's a doorway, and you can step through it or ignore it. But if you ignore it, don't pretend you didn't know. Don't act surprised when your life doesn't change, because the moment was here and you chose to look away. The most powerful decision you can make right now is not to react with fear, but to respond with responsibility, to take ownership of your time, your energy, your habits, your mind. Nobody is going to do it for you. No one is coming to save you. That's the truth most people run from. But once you accept it, you become unstoppable. So let July 7 be the day you stopped waiting. Let it be the day you stopped blaming, stopped hesitating, stopped numbing yourself. Let it be the day you chose to wake up, not because something forced you, but because you were finally ready, ready to rise, ready to lead, ready to rebuild your life on truth, discipline, and clarity. The signs are not outside. They're already inside you. The universe doesn't need to scream. So it's already whispered everything you need to hear. The only question left is, are you listening? Are you awake? And are you willing to act? Not someday, not next week, but today. July 7 is not the end of something. It's the start of your return to self, to power, to purpose. But only if you decide to wake up, not later, now.